great to see you again.
Nice to
Thank you.
see
I should say
you.
before the camera started rolling, thank you for thinking about us in Houston.
Yeah, of course.
You were just asking about that.
Yeah. It's a lot of people have been so affected, and you want people to know that you are thinking about them, because it's terrible what they've been through.
Thank you, Julianne.
Yeah.
That means a lot. Houston strong is what we're saying right now,
Yeah,
so we're going to
yeah.
get through this. Speaking of Houston, somebody that you met many years ago, just a couple years ago,
Yeah.
Critics' Choice Awards, and you got to spend some time with her, my mother.
Yes.
You did.
Please tell your mom I said hi back.
And
Yeah.
I didn't tell her when I walked in the room, so I said, somebody will say, yeah, but we got to spend some time at the award
That's
show.
so nice.
She said, you're going to see Julianne again? I go, yeah. But
And she's doing okay?
She's doing fantastic.
Okay, good,
So
good.
anyway, good
Yeah,
to see you.
thanks to you.
And speaking of which, I love you. You're a great person. I've known you for a couple of years. What is the deal with Poppy? We're seeing a side of you, Julianne, that I'm not used to.
You didn't know it was there.
I'm like, wow, she's good. She's a good evil
the
person.
megalomania, right? She's out of control. I mean, I love playing this character. She has absolutely no parameters on her behavior. It's like playing a poorly behaved toddler. So she's created this whole world, and anything that she says goes, and it was fun.
Was there an inspiration, though, maybe from another evil person? Because there's a scene that made me think of the movie Fargo. And you know what I'm talking about in this movie? Well, when the guy is in the... Yes, of course. You know what it was? It was Gene Hackman in Superman, actually. He's my favorite actor, and I don't remember a lot from that movie, but I really remember him and Valerie Perrine and their crazy lair and the way they kind of bantered and seemed like normal people, do you know? And that was very impressive to me. And when I mentioned that to Matthew, he said he'd been really inspired by Richard Donner's work in that as well, so it was sort of a starting point. I could see that. That's cool. Tell me about the cast, because you have such an incredible cast in this film. What was it like to show up to work every day and see? And I'm going to get to one person in particular in a minute. Okay. And I think you know where I'm going with that one. But I want to talk about, the rest of the cast that you got to work with, including Channing Tatum and things like that.
I met Channing once after a party, but I never saw him on the set of KINGSMAN.
Okay.
So we didn't see each other. You shoot according to the sets that you're on. So all the statesmen were done by the time I got to London to shoot my part. So I did get to work with Taryn and Colin, and they were amazing, and Ed Hallcroft, of course, and
Elton John. I didn't know that he was in the movie, and I love Elton John.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, wait a minute, and he's perfect.
He's
Tell me about that experience.
wonderful. It was so surprising when I read the script. Elton was written in there, and Matthew was like, "Look, I think I'm going to get him. I think he's going to do this." And I thought, I don't know how that's going to be possible. And there he was, and he's such an important figure in music and culturally as well. And to have him there, in the flesh, talking to him, it was just something I never imagined would happen to me. And he's so wonderful, so generous, and really willing to send himself up and wear all the crazy stuff.
You did, because you actually took some shots at him. Yeah. I mean, he just played along, and he's up there as far as musicians go. But you the way you played off each other, I just really enjoyed that. I just can't imagine that. All right, I never asked you this question before, and you've won many awards, some big awards. Why do you love acting so much?
I like stories, I'm growing up, I loved reading. I liked narrative. I like stories about what people do and what they want and what they want to be. And it's like acting is a way of like feeling like you gotten inside a book and you're living there. And I like that sensation.
I absolutely love you. You're so good.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Nice
Great to see you again.